What's up, guys? It is Sam here, and coming to you live from where I'm at. And tonight I wanted to talk about Andrew Yang and his YouTube channel. So we're going to do some deep dive analysis on here. So if anybody knows somebody on Andrew Yang's team or around that, share this video with them, because this is free analysis on just ways that they can make their channel better. And I've got 2 pages of notes here. So we're going to take a really big deep dive into YouTube. But first, if this is your first time here, what's up? My name is Sam, and if you're returning, it's good to freaking see you. Now, with that, let's get started. So first I want to give context, like who I am. Like, why the fuck should anybody care about what I think? First of all, you don't have to care what I think, but I've had a YouTube channel since 2013. I have over 1,000 videos out there. This is something that I do for fun. And when you do something like looking at these types of things for fun, it's different than somebody who has, like, you know, their focus is over here, but they're just doing this on the side. And it's clearly evident as we're about to walk through. Just because I enjoy it, just like I enjoy working out and fitness and diet. Like, it's fun to me. So I don't mind doing it. I don't mind going to the gym all the time. I don't mind eating clean every day because I enjoy it. And why YouTube? Well, first of all, I wanted to look at Google Trends here. So over the past 12 months, around 6 months ago, there was a large spike in the interest around Andrew Yang. And it's been kind of just up and to the right, up to the present, where it's been like much higher search volume on average. So that's one part, right? That's the search volume on YouTube. We're using Google Trends, which catalogs all the searches that people put on Google. And then there's also one for YouTube. So we just search for that in there, and we see that Andrew Yang's search volume over the past 6 months is just up and to the right. So it's relevant, it's happening, and this is why we're taking a look at, like, it's super important in terms of my opinion. Well, I'm just going to show you the data. Okay, so it's projected based on Social Blade, so they do all social tracking here, and it's projected that his channel is going to do about 11 million views this year. So just for context, think about this for a second. Think of like a CNBC or CNN like nightly show, right? They do it 5 days a week throughout the entire show, you know what I mean, from 5 to 6 o'clock or something. Throughout the entire year, how many views do you think that's going to get? I don't know. Probably not a terrible ton. But could be, I don't know. But to neglect or to not think about how important YouTube is, and this is, I mean, we're about to go through like some of the opportunities here, but there's a not only is it already giant for him in terms of being able to talk to an audience, but to tell the story, right? Because even if this was the same size as that show on CNN, right, that between 5 and 6 that we were just imagining, even if it was the same, you could, you know what I mean, actually have a voice. So when CNN says something through their eyes, tainted however it is that might be, right, for whatever reason, we don't need it, we're not going to get into that. There's plenty of reasons why it can be biased, like just human psychology is for first, like it's the simplest fucking thing. Not even because they're CNN or this, that, or the other thing. Like, we have biases in the way that we have behavior. You know what I mean? And if you want to see a video on that, we can go into that. But anyways, this has been a interesting look at his channel over the last like year or so, because the total number of subscribers has just been up and to the right, and the total number of views has just been up and to the right, and in the aggregate. So that now he's got more than 4 million views on his channel, and he's getting average, I think this is daily views of like 10 something thousand. Over the past 30 days, he's gained 19,000 subscribers, so that's pretty substantial because his channel only has 82,000 subscribers. So his channel is growing really quickly there. And over the past 30 days, he's had just under 900,000 views on his channel. Think about being able to tell that, to have that audience. Oh, by the way, at the end, we have a bonus where we get into some more deep dive strategy, but I've also kind of put some of that strategy or my thought process into here because if somebody implemented these things onto their channel, they would see results. So if you know somebody who could watch this video who works there or whatever, if they implement these things, like, it fucking works. It's just simple. You could track the data. I could track the data and do it for you. Like, it's pretty simple. Okay, so now we're gonna go to incognito mode in Google Chrome. And why do you do that? Because when you are in regular Google mode Chrome, because you use it, Google has a profile built of who you are. So if you went into YouTube through there, you will search Andrew Yang and you'll get a certain result. Now, if you take that same idea and you go to YouTube in incognito mode, you'll get different results, right? So I wanted to get the more authentic, what the average person is going to see when they Google his name. And his channel comes up as number 3 in the search results. So now we're going to actually dive in. We're going to dive into the channel. So when you click on a channel, it comes up with like a bunch of different tabs. So we've got home, video, playlist, community, and channels. And then the About Me page. And we're going to go through all of those pretty much, except for probably the home page. Maybe we'll dive into that a little bit as well. Then we're going to really go into the videos, really deep dive. That's the bonus content where it's just like, that's just easy, low-hanging fruit to increase the messaging that you're going to be getting out. It's just, I've tested it on my channel. Like, you know what I mean? It just works. So with that, we're going to start on the About Me page, and then we're going to walk forwards towards the videos until we get into that really, really deep dive that I was about to talk about. So in the About Me section, the channel is around 2 years old. He's got an email capture here, and then he's got a bunch of links. So let's take a look here. Okay, so I went through, I didn't see any, major thing that was like missing or like, what could you optimize better? But the links, one of the parts of this analysis is you gotta check shit to see if it fucking works, right? So all the links work on his page when you go to the About Me, but the link for the store does not work. So either get shit into your store or fix the fucking link so that works, or just take that off of there. You know what I mean? You don't want to just be sloppy with the way you do stuff, I feel like. It's just, I don't know, I think that's a lost opportunity to drive traffic, to gain more money, to merchandise shit. Like, it's just a lost opportunity, I feel like tremendous. You know what I mean? Think about if you had people wearing like Andrew Yang math shit that you were selling, you could gather more data about people, how to market to them. You could also sell them at a price where it costs like $1.50 to make, and you could sell them at $25. Is that way you get a donation out of it as well, and you get customer information. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's a big missed opportunity there. The next tab over is channels. So this is where I really wanted to go, the first step into the strategy portion of this. So I took some notes here. So channels, what is that? That's a tab where you can tag other channels if you have other channels. Like if you had Andrew Yang for president, maybe you had an Andrew Yang like for fucking policy, Andrew Yang about this, that, or the other thing. And you could tag them in here, or you could tag other people's channels if you wanted to. So in my opinion, I think this is a hugely wasted opportunity here. And I'm going to tell you why. I just think this is so crazy not to do this. So in that here, so this it requires a little bit of work, which means like if it's not, you're not focused on this, you're not gonna have the strategy to think about how this could impact you in a very, very large way, a huge ROI way. So take maybe the top 5 channels or so that are talking about Andrew Yang on YouTube, right? Which might take a little bit of time to figure out, like do some Googling and then look at these channels to see who they are. And then take those channels and put them in this section of the channel. And then don't stop there. Don't stop there, because these other channels are talking about you. They're going to see an increase in traffic from people on your channel who want to know where you're directing people. And these other channels are going to get increased traffic, which is gain more awareness and understanding about your perspective on, or like his perspective. And then don't stop there. So you picked 5 of the top channels talking about Andrew Yang. Now, each one of those, reach out to them on social, whether that's fucking Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or like wherever it is. Reach out, get in contact with them, and just let them know like you really appreciate them talking about him and getting the message out there. And I think Andrew Yang should do a fucking video with each one of these top channels. Like the amount of ROI from that when you do something like that, the reciprocity. In terms of like people, when you do something for somebody else, they want to kind of do the same thing for you. So when you do that for these channels and impact these channels in such a strong way, both because you could, even if it was just like a phone interview that they could record and put on their channel around content and then make more content around talking about the experience with you, I think it's just a crazy big like hack at influencer marketing. You know what I mean? It's just not utilized at all, and that's super crazy. I mean, like the impact of that is just crazy. Another tab is the community tab. Community tab is kind of like Instagram stories and Instagram, but way less Instagram. Like Instagram, when people didn't really post that much, there wasn't very many people there yet. But the stories feature on here, similar to Instagram's story feature where you can post throughout the day, but then there's also a feed of this, and you can put polls and other data in there, which I don't think you can do on Instagram actually, and people can vote on different stuff, or you can just put content up there if you find so if you have a screenshot of like something that happened on Instagram, you share it over there, so that like, oh, this interesting comment over here, you share it onto YouTube because you know the people on there would probably find it interesting, and or link that screenshot you sent back to Instagram, because I'm sure some people over here would also like to see Instagram, right? So I think this is a big drop too, because there's nothing posted in the community tab on his channel at all. Like, another big like missed opportunity to just do what I was just talking about, taking tweets and putting them in there and linking people back out, so you can create this like matrix of traffic that you're driving around. So you are creating that algorithm, right? Like YouTube has an algorithm, Google has an algorithm. You gotta have an algorithm to drive the traffic to understand where you're sending it, right? And that's what you're doing by this deep dive into YouTube and how to like some of the strategy associated with it should also be applied independently to Facebook and Twitter and any other like Instagram, and applied to this to really figure out how to optimize that to grow it. Now, I am by no means trying to say that my channel is optimized even slightly. I'm sure there's fuckloads of things wrong with my channel. I almost think of it as like, the person who's a financial planner, but they don't actually do their own financial planning and they don't save what they need to save, and etc. And I am getting better with my channel. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity on my channel though. So now, after those, let's jump over to the playlists. There's a decent number of playlists here. There's about 7 different playlists, so that's good. There could be opportunities for more depending upon the like creative output. I guess if you have a larger variety of output, you can increase the number of playlists. So right off the bat, now I'm moving over to the last tab here, which is videos. I think that it's a huge fail. Like, and you can tell. And so what? Why is it a huge fail when it comes to the video page? Because the last video that was posted was over a freaking month ago. Like, seeing a channel like this, right? Somebody who is running for like Democratic nomination for president and not optimizing, leaving just so much on the table here is just insane to me. Or maybe I'm giving it too much value. I don't know. You can let me know down below in the comments, but I feel that YouTube is actually really, really tremendous, especially when you factor in also Facebook and Twitter and not just their YouTube channel, but also the growth in their channel or growth in search volume from that, and all these other things that really factor in that I don't think a lot of people realize how tremendously big it is. And there's been, it's been over a freaking month. That's just somebody dropping the ball. And that's just absolutely insane. I think this is a crazy to not do this. Let me see this. So now here's where I get a little bit more into the strategy. Now think about this. If you got a volunteer, you could either maybe strategy wise where you could get a volunteer in each city. Oh, that would probably be a very interesting way if you could figure out how to do it efficiently through Twitter and Instagram. Recruit a creative that could follow you around every destination that you are campaigning in, right? And you're going to you're going to have to hustle to find some creative, have them follow you around, like meet you somewhere and film you throughout your day to get more content out there, right? Because then these people can take it and put it onto their channels or whatever the case is. And this is a way to hack at influencer marketing, because these people are probably going to want to get close to somebody of, like, you know what I mean, that they've heard about on TV potentially, you know? That might be interesting to a lot of them. And doing this in each and every different campaign location that you go to, and maybe even hire somebody internal to help just facilitate this is a super, well, I'm going to get into a little bit more of that really deep dive into the strategy, but having, say, an internal person hired for just YouTube could try to facilitate this. And one of the ways to do that is to bring everything in-house, right? And have somebody film all day long and then edit it and then post-produce and then put it out there, right? And just perpetually do that. But I think what doing it this way does two very, very big things. First of all, it is way more efficient to have other people do the work for you. Way more efficient. Like, super more efficient. I'm not sure how to emphasize how more efficient that is, but having somebody come on their day off to spend the day filming you to make content, just like, don't be a douche, like, be who you really are, right? Like, if you're a douche, that's going to come out in the video. So just, that doesn't appear like that's who Andrew Yang is, and you think this type of dialogue, based on the very little bits of him that I see, I feel like that's authenticity wouldn't capture anything that's not supposed to be captured, or that you could have that agreement, be like, hey, if you're going to talk about certain areas, you just don't let them film during then. But I think that would actually be interesting, super interesting for a tremendous amount of people. Anyways, so doing this in every campaign location, what does that do? It takes the costs away from Andrew Yang, because you hire one person that fucking knows what they're doing, and they can set this up. Then an influencer or somebody comes and films you. They go home and edit it. They fucking tell all their friends, hey, guess what I just did? They got me Uber all the way out there, gave me $150, did this, blah, 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 blah. And then they go home and make this video after telling every single person. They post about it on Facebook, and then they make their video and they put it online, and it's their truth, right? It's not Andrew Yang. So when it's coming from somebody other than that, if they don't trust the establishment, or they don't trust what people say, when they hear enough of these, you know what I mean? If you're going to, I don't know how many places you go a week, but like, somebody's really hustling to get creatives to come see you every single place, I think that's just such a missed opportunity there. Now we get to really, so I've gone kind of deep in some of these areas, but I wanted to dive a little bit more into the video. So we did click on the video That was the last one published, so you can go do exactly what I'm doing. And the first thing that I notice is the likes and the dislikes. So the ratio here, well, so I looked at Elizabeth Warren's channel, and let me give you hers first. Hers is about 1/3 dislikes to 2/3 likes, where over here we have 2,900 likes versus 50 dislikes. Where on Elizabeth Warren's, this would be like 1,000 dislikes. So that's interesting. It's got 37,000 views, just about. And when it came down to the comments, first of all, it has 800 comments, which is a lot of comments on a video. Just in general, it's a lot of comments. I don't know if I have any that have anywhere near 800 comments. And then when I was actually looking at this before I made this video, they were actually less than this. I think it was like 810. So just in the last couple minutes, it's gotten a few more comments, 3 more comments. And when you go through the comments, let's go through and take a look at some of these. So I read through a couple of these, and not only is there like somebody will comment something, then there's like fucking 12 replies. So somebody comments something, and then there's a stream of like conversation off of that. And then it's not just once, but it's like I scroll through the comments, and practically every single comment has one or multiple comments off of it, which is insane. And when you go through and click on the comments, there's no. First of all, there's some super detailed, like paragraph and a half long things, but again, this gets back into the strategy. Andrew Yang's not in this comment section. Why? Look at how fucking ridiculous amount the engagement is. You jump in here and you can have some crazy conversations and really, really, really impact what's going on. Because then these people are going to be like, yo, Andrew Yang responds to me on YouTube, and you just do that, respond to all these with this amount of engagement. It's insane. And also,